This is such a beautiful lesson. And it's appropriate that we would end, like I said, the final lessons of the workbook would be these lessons. Uh, this lesson 5 times, repeated 5 times. You know, there's only one other lesson that is repeated 3 times in the course. I am as God created me. But this lesson is asked in its actual form to be repeated 5 times. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that this one is a dedication. It's a charge for us, and it's a charge in our own minds to step back and let him lead the way. Now, we've probably heard this lesson. If you've been a student of A Course in Miracles for very long, you've either done this lesson or you've read this lesson. It's been on posters, it's been on cards, it's been on all sorts of things because it's so beautiful. What an incredible charge for us to end our lessons with, that this holy instant we would give to the Holy Spirit, to the Christ presence, to God, whatever word you want to use, and that we are going to want him to be in charge. Because why? We don't want to run our lives anymore. We need to follow somebody who knows the way, certain, knowing that that direction is going to give us peace, never pain, never suffering, never hurt, only peace, only help, only support. So let's look at the little sheet of paper. We're going to look at that first. I just picked out certain little things out of this so you could see it, and our viewers are going to be seeing this right now on the screen. It says, "To him we leave these lessons." These are the final lessons that we do. The same lesson 5 times. "As to him we give our lives henceforth." And as you read that lesson, that's what it sounds like. It's time to step back and give him the power in our lives instead of us having it. Do you have one? Did you? Oh, here, he can look off cans. There you go. Is there one right there? No. No. Yeah, that's the section. Do you have it now? Okay, you can look off Karen's. There you go. You're welcome. I wanted you to be able to see this because there's some really good stuff in here. And you can find this in your book. It's just that I've cut it up. So you could read along there too as well. "For we would return again to the belief." We would not return. That's a Freudian slip. "For we would not return again to the belief in sin that made the world seem," and look at these adjectives, "ugly and unsafe, attacking and destroying, dangerous in all its ways, and treacherous beyond the hope of trust and the escape from pain." Now, I mean, those are just a lot of ugly adjectives. But right now, I think we look at the world, but I think every generation probably looks at the world and sees this. But we see it as kind of ugly and unsafe at times, right? Haven't we felt that? Haven't we been hearing that a lot? Attacking and destroying, dangerous in all its ways, and treacherous, like there's no hope of trust and escape from pain. And what this is saying is that's what sin, and what is sin from the Course's perspective, but a mistaken thought that we could be separate from our source. All of that thought in our mind creates this or makes this experience that is not real. But we've given a lot of investment in it. The Course says a lot of ancient learning, meaning we've passed this down, a lovely thing, from generation to generation to generation, this pain and suffering and ugliness and unsafety. It's often been said, oh, the world isn't that, the world is worse. Well, actually, the world is worse now, but you go back generations and it's always been like that. It's always been bad. The world itself has always seemed this way. And yet there have always been people within the world who transcend it too. We have these, and Jesus was certainly one of them. Yeah. Oh, what a terrible time to live during the Roman Empire. And you might say, well, that's nothing like what it is today. But at that time, it was pretty dramatic. So there have always been these pinnacles of hope. And we've seen these that come out that shift consciousness. And why do we celebrate those awarenesses, these lives of hope? Because they resonate inside of us as something that makes sense. When people talk about hope, about transformation beyond this world that's ugly and unsafe and attacking and destroying, when people talk with conviction about this other kind of world, we resonate to that. That makes sense to us. Yeah, I think that's true. We may have a hard time getting there, but that does make sense to us on some level. Some little light inside of us is kind of activated. And see, that's the truth. And we haven't nurtured that much. If we don't nurture that, it is not the present thought in our minds. But we can nurture it. And the difference with the Course is when you nurture the truth, it can activate even more. It's like if you ever go into a restaurant and you're cold and they have those heater units up there, and you ask them to turn it on, and they might turn it on kind of low, and then you say, can we just turn it up a little bit? All of a sudden, when you start to turn it up, it gets a lot warmer, doesn't it? It gets a lot more comfortable, right? Same thing is true here. Yeah. Take a while, but the same thing is true here. We have this little spark of truth within us, and that needs to be nurtured. And that's why these ending the 360 lessons with this 61 through 65, 361 through 365 is this lesson, is appropriate for that, because it's telling us this is always there. This spark is always there. You need to nurture it.